adequate workforce by sending only a third of kids to college, and that the other kids either couldn't do college work or didn't need to. The idea behind the new design is that all students can do rigorous work, and that for their sake and for ours, they need to. Fortunately, there is mounting evidence that this new kind of design can work. The Kansas City, Kansas Public School District, where 79% of students are minorities and 74% live below the poverty line, was struggling with high dropout rates and low test scores when it adopted the school reform model called First Things First in 1996. This included setting high academic standards for all students, reducing student-teacher ratios, and giving teachers and administrators the responsibility to improve student performance and the resources they needed to do it. The district's graduation rate has climbed more than 30 percentage points. These are the kind of results you can get when you design high schools to prepare every student for college. At the Met School in Providence, Rhode Island, 70% of the students are black or Hispanic. More than 60% live below the poverty line. Nearly 40% comes from families where English is a second language. As part of its special mission, the Met enrolls only students who have dropped out in the past or who were in danger of dropping out. Yet, even with that student body, the Met now has the lowest dropout rate and the highest college placement rate of any high school in that state. Those, again, are the kinds of results you can get when you design a high school to prepare every student for college. 2 years ago, I had a chance to visit High Tech High in San Diego. This was conceived in 1998 by a group of business leaders who were alarmed by their city's shortage of talented workers. 35% of High Tech High students are black or Hispanic. All of them study courses like computer animation or biotechnology in that school's state-of-the-art labs. High Tech High's scores on statewide academic tests are 15% higher than the rest of the district, and their SAT scores are 139 points higher. Again, those are the kinds of results you can get when you design a high school to prepare every student for college. These are not isolated examples. These are schools built on principles that can be applied anywhere. The new 3 R's, the basic building blocks of better high schools. The first R is rigor, making sure that all students are given a challenging curriculum that prepares them for college or work. The second R is relevance, making sure kids have courses and projects that clearly relate to their lives and goals. And the third R is relationships, making sure kids have a number of adults who know them, look out for them, and push them to achieve. The 3 R's are almost always easier to promote in smaller high schools. The smaller size gives teachers and staff the opportunity to create an environment where students achieve at a higher level and rarely fall through the cracks. Students in smaller schools are more motivated. They have higher attendance rates, they feel safer, and they graduate and attend college in higher numbers. Of course, the success of individual schools is not the answer to this crisis. We have to be able to make systems of schools that work for all students. For this, we need a number of things. We need stable and effective governance. We need equitable school choice. We need performance-oriented employment agreements. And we need the capacity to intervene in low-performing schools. Our foundation has invested nearly $1 billion so far to help redesign the American high school. We are supporting more than 1,500 high schools, about half which are totally new, and the other half are existing schools that are being redesigned. In Chicago, there's a plan to open 100 new schools. In New York, there's a plan for opening 200. Exciting redesign work is underway in Oakland, Milwaukee, Cleveland, Boston, and many other locations. This kind of change is never easy, but I think there are 3 steps that governors and CEOs can take that will help build the momentum for change in our schools. Number one, we should declare that all students can and should graduate from high school ready for college, work, and citizenship. It's hard to respond to a ninth grader's mother who asks, my son is bright, why can't he take algebra? We all have to ask ourselves how to become advocates for having the answer that every child can take the courses that prepare them for college. The states that have committed to getting all students ready for college have made good progress, but every state must take the same commitment. Number two, let's publish the data that measures our progress towards the goal. Over the last few years, there's been a focus on measurement, and that's important. It's helped us realize the extent of the problem. But we need to know more. What percentage of schools are dropping out? What percentage are going on to college? And we need this data broken down by race, by income. The idea of tracking low income and minority kids into dead-end courses is so offensive that the only way the practice can survive is if it's hidden. That's why we need to expose it. If we are forced to confront these injustices, I believe we'll end them. Number three, we need to turn around failing schools and open new ones. If we believe all kids can learn, then when students don't learn, the school must change. Every state needs a strong intervention strategy to improve struggling schools. This needs to include special teams of experts who are given the power and resources to turn things around. So if we can focus on these three steps, high standards for all, public data on our progress, turning around failing schools, we'll go a long way toward ensuring that all students have a chance to make the most of their lives. Our philanthropy is driven by the belief that every human being has equal worth. We're constantly asking ourselves where a dollar of funding or effort can make the biggest impact for equality. We look for strategic entry points. Where is the inequality the greatest? Where are the worst consequences? And what offers the best chance for improvement? We decided that high schools are a critical intervention point for equality because that's where children's paths diverge. Some go on to lives of accomplishment and privilege, and others to lives of frustration, joblessness, and even jail. When I visited High Tech High in San Diego, one young student told me that High Tech High was the first high school he'd gone to where being smart was cool. His neighborhood friends gave him a hard time about that, and he said he wasn't sure he was going to stay. But then he showed me the work he was doing on a special project involving a submarine. This kid was very bright. It was an incredible experience talking to him because his life really did hang in the balance. And without teachers who knew him, who pushed him, who cared about him, he wouldn't have had that chance. Think of the difference it will make in his life if he takes his talent to college. Now multiply that by millions. That's what's at stake. If we keep the system as is, millions will never get that chance to fulfill their promise. That is offensive to our values, and it's an insult to who we are. Every kid can graduate ready for college. Every kid should have that chance. Let's redesign our schools to make that happen. Thank you.